Fam, God bless each and every one of you all. I was just sitting and thinking in the car. I'm out here on this site, this job site, and I'm sitting here, and I took me a quick break, and I just began to just think about some things that had happened and transpired in my life. And I was thinking about how I came up on, we was under this bishop, and I was a young man, and I watched my mother work endless in the church, and she slaved in the church, and she did this in the church, and she did so many different things in the church, but she never got recognized for it. She was always paying her tithes. She was always in church meetings. She was always in this different meeting and that different meeting and that different meeting and this different meeting and choir rehearsal and cleaning the church, and she was always doing things like that. So I was just sitting here in the truck, and I was thinking about some things that transpired and some things that brought strife to my mother's marriage. Now, the bishop was asking my mother, we went to church that Sunday morning. You had to be at Sunday school at about 9, and we get there to church or whatever. Then we stay in church about 3. God bless you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And we'll be at the church about 3. So my mom, when we get out of church at 3, we had to be back to church at 7:30 until about 9:30 or 10. Those were the time when we was coming up. We stayed in church at least 6 or 7 days a week, at the most, sometimes 7 days a week. And I was looking at a lot of things that was coming against my mother's marriage. One thing that was coming against my mother's marriage and a lot of my aunties and uncles' marriage and my grandmother's marriage was that my mother and my aunties and grandmothers and all them was listening to the bishop, but they wasn't listening to their husband. Now, their husband may not have been lined up with God, but as a spiritual leader, their job was to let them know that they had to do what their husband asked them to do or their wife asked them to do. When you don't do that, it starts strife, because it's like you listening to a bishop, apostle, a man of God, but you're not listening to the person that's there paying the bills. You're not listening to the person that's there putting food on the table. You're not listening to the person that's there that you met and then you married. You're not listening to them, but you're listening to somebody else, and you don't even know if they have their life together. Good morning. God bless you. You don't even know if they have their lives together. So we live in a world in competition. A lot of pastors, a lot of leaders, they try to show their power. They try to flex their power and show they have mind control over women and men. I have seen it done. I have seen preachers and teachers do these things to show that they have power over different ones. I have seen preachers and teachers do things that they shouldn't have done just to show that they have power of recognition over the wives or the husband. And it's wrong. It's not right. So we have to do these things the righteous way. Do these things the righteous way. I watched my dad ask my mom to cook him some food. And my mom said she was going to cook it when she get out of church. And my dad said, you all get out of church late. I want to go ahead and give me something to eat because I got to be to work at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I heard my mom tell her, you're not going to stop me from getting what God has me because you want something to eat. Now, at the time, a young man, I'm a young man, but at the same time, I'm learning how to grow. But I know that wasn't right. I know that wasn't right. That wasn't the right thing to do. We have to be mindful of these things. We have to be mindful of what we tell people, because if that person get into a bind or that person get into a hardship and you're not able to help them, then what's the needs of telling them this is the way to do it? We have to be mindful to do it the righteous way. The righteous way. That's what we have to do. We have to do it the righteous way. And a lot of times, a lot of things I've seen and learned, so that when I didn't transfer those things over to my marriage, my wife and I marriage, because I learned from those things. I learned what not to do. I learned when to do. I learned how to do. And God began to show me different things. So I began to live my life in a way that not only was I able to reach out to people, but I was able to do the right thing. I was able to give the right counsel. And I just thank God for me going through those trials and tribulation, because it helped me be the man that I am today. It helped me be the husband that I am today, the father that I am today, the leader that I am today, because I sat back and I watched. how my mother handled things. I watched how my father handled things. I watched how the church ran. And now I know what I need to do as a man of God. So I'm going to leave you all with this. You have to be what you want to see in others. You have to be what you want to see in others. If you want others to be talking about you, manipulating you, misusing you, bruising you, then you keep doing it to others. God bless you all.